So good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, April 28th, and this is our, what is this now, our fifth or sixth, I lost track, free call on helping you guys through the pandemic with all the stress and all the stuff that's going on. You do know that this call is recorded. You do know that the recording is being on my Facebook page, on YouTube, and we're also, people can get access to it. So if you don't want to be recorded, turn your camera off. People will still see your name. If you, and if you don't want any of that, then I would encourage you to just listen to the recording. But there's nothing I can do about people seeing who you are. So by being on the call and talking to me, you just all agree to that. And so why don't we just do a quick check-in? And I just want to know what's going on for you guys. Gladys, I'm going to mute you over there so that we have a quiet line. Everybody else is open right now. Just tell me what's on your mind today, what's on your heart today, and what you would like to tap on. Who'd like to go first?
I think
okay, I'll go first.
Oh, sure.
Go ahead.
Marie-Therese.
Yeah, I think I sent you an email with that. Nothing in particular, but just a feeling of not belonging anywhere these days, being out of place,
Yep.
like a bad party you didn't want to go to. That's the feeling that I have.
Can others relate to that?
Yep.
Can anybody not relate to that? See, wonderful, because we are displaced and we are not where we used to be, and we don't know where the heck we're going to be, and we're somewhere in between. I hear you. And this is a very, very wonderful thing. And there's Barbara again. Good morning, Barbara. And Antonios is there, and Patricia is there. So great. I just told everybody, and Australia is there. Yeah, I see you. Gladys is back. Everybody is now. Most people are unmuted right now. Just to remind everybody, hold on, there is strong sound in the back right now. Just to remind everybody who is on the call, you remember that the call is being. This is really loud. Okay, I just a reminder, this call is being recorded, and it will be, on YouTube, my Facebook page, it will be sent out. So you guys all agree with that as you're here. Okay, cool. Excellent. So a feeling of not belonging. Yeah, that makes perfect sense, actually, I think. So tell me more. When did this start, and how is this impacting you right now? Is it Marie-Therese?
Yes, that's okay. Well, it just hit me. You asked what are our concerns right now.
Yeah.
And I just thought it's something, I cannot really put my finger on it, but it's a feeling of, okay, let me go on with my life. And like probably everybody else feels that. And that's enough is enough, right? But I function and seem to be fine, but it's still in the back of my mind, that, yeah, I should be able to shake this. But,
well, what would you like it to be?
I don't want to say like before, but, it's one of those things. Sometimes when you cannot do something, that's exactly when you want to do it. Maybe it's part of a reaction. I would like to be free, to move, to go on with my life, to see my grandkids, and yeah.
Yeah. And it's settling in that that's not going to happen, right?
Not quite now. Yes, it is settling in. And you have to cancel flights. It's a strange thing to think,
what am I going to do now? Wear a mask, right? I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you. So why don't we just tap on that a little bit? Let me just check in with Gladys really quick. Gladys, are you okay over there? Maybe you want to turn the camera off for a little bit until this is all figured out so that you can just sort yourself out a little bit. I think that makes sense. There she is. Okay, good. All right. So when you think about this, the feeling of not belonging anywhere, not knowing where we belong, where do you feel this? And what's the feeling connected with it?
It's just, there's not really feel. It's just like a leitmotif. It's in the back of my mind.
Okay.
Feeling, well, could do, you know, like those report cards, could do better. Like that I'm not living up to what I could do, actually.
Okay.
It slows you down.
And what slows you down? The feeling that you don't belong, or the fact that you're stuck at home?
Yes, the feeling that you would like to go on with your life and not being where you should be.
Okay.
Just in general, a weird feeling.
Yeah. Totally get it. And just from a coaching perspective, the reality is we need to reach out a whole lot more than we used to. A whole lot more. Because we are not just running into people. We don't just have a social life anymore. Unless we create one, we don't have one. And that is strange and unusual and weird. And it's important that we roll with that and learn how to deal with that. For right now, let me do this. So that's better. So let's get tapping on that. Let's see what happens. Okay, you know me. I never know what happens. I kind of do, but not always the right way. We'll see where we end up. Okay, karate chop point. Even though I have this really strange feeling right now. Feeling of not really belonging anywhere.
I
want my life back.
I want my old life back.
I want to be able to get back to the life I had.
I want to be able to get back to the life I had.
I like that life.
I like that life.
That was a good life.
It was a good life.
I want to see my grandkids.
I want to see my grandkids.
And it's so strange where I'm stuck right now.
And it's really strange where I'm stuck right now.
I think I should be doing more. But what is more? The things I could do more of, I can't do right now.
I can do right now.
So what else can I possibly do?
You. What else could I possibly do?
But I love and accept myself anyways.
And
even though I'm struggling.
And
a lot of people are.
And I know a lot of people are.
We are in a very strange situation right now. So strange.
So strange.
But I love and accept myself anyways. Am I hearing something there? Am I hearing like sadness or something? What's coming up emotionally for you right now?
A sigh. Maybe some energy moving. I was just sighing.
Okay. And even though here I am. So little control over what's going to happen next. And I don't like that.
I cannot see you or hear you.
Okay. Well, maybe you have to. You're on the wrong thing right now. You need to switch off one of your computers. Okay. And I'm gonna continue with the session right now. Maybe you want to turn that off. I think she has two computers going on. I deeply and completely accept myself.
I
really do.
Pardon, I didn't get that.
I really do.
Top
of your head, this is really difficult. Inside of the eyebrow, it is. Outside of the eye. How do you just hang in there? Under the eye, week after week. Nose and upper lip, when nothing really changes. Lower lip and chin. When I have so little control.
When I have so little control.
Collarbone. When my desires to live my life are still the same.
When my desire to live my life are still the same.
Under the arm, but I can't do anything about the way that I live right now.
But I can't do anything about the way I live right now.
Top of your head, this is difficult.
This is difficult.
Inside of the eyebrow, it's concerning.
It's concerning.
Outside of the eye, maybe in a very subtle way.
Maybe in a very subtle way.
Under the eye, but here I am.
But here I am.
But here I am. Nose and upper lip.
But
Not
here I
knowing
am.
where I belong.
Not
knowing where I belong. Not knowing if I will
knowing
ever
where I
belong
belong.
somewhere again.
Not
Not knowing if I will ever belong
somewhere again.
anywhere.
Not knowing
I
if
just
I
don't
will
know.
ever belong anywhere. I just don't know.
I just don't know. I just
I
don't
just
know.
don't know.
Take a breath.
I just don't know.
Take a breath. Yeah. How are you feeling?
Well, the thought is still there, but it doesn't matter that much anymore.
Okay.
Like,
Let's do another round.
you know
Correct.
that, yeah.
Right at your point. And even though the truth is
Even though the truth is,
that I belong somewhere.
I do belong somewhere.
Of course I do.
What to do?
Of course I do.
Of course I do.
How could I not belong somewhere?
How could I not belong somewhere?
I belonged somewhere before.
I belonged somewhere before.
I'm going to still belong somewhere.
I'm gonna still belong somewhere.
After all, the world did not come an end. It did not come to an end.
After all, the world didn't come to an end.
Just because we're all locked inside right now.
Just because we are all locked inside right now.
And we cannot have the relationships we're used to having.
And we cannot have the relationships we are used to having.
But that doesn't mean I don't belong into these relationships.
That doesn't mean I don't belong into these relationships.
And it doesn't mean I don't belong into this life.
And it doesn't mean that I don't belong into this life.
But certain things will change.
But certain things will change.
Certain things have already changed.
Certain things have already changed.
And that's fine.
And it's fine.
Let them change.
Let them change.
Not everything I had before was perfect for me anyways.
Not everything I had before was perfect for me anyways.
So let those things fall away.
So let those things fall away.
And have more of the things I actually want.
And have more of the things that I actually want.
And I can already imagine
And I can already imagine
that I have a pretty good idea
that I have a pretty good idea
of what I want my future life to look like.
of what I want my future life to look like.
Top of your head. How strange is that?
How strange is that?
Inside of the eye, a cleansing process.
A cleansing process.
Outside of the eye. Not everything I used to do
Not everything I used to do
under the eye is something I will do in the future.
is something I will do in the future.
Nose and upper lip. Some of those things,
Some of those things
lower lip and chin, were temporary.
were temporary.
Collarbone, and I don't need to do them anymore.
And I don't need to do them anymore
Under the arm in order to feel good about myself.
in order to feel good about myself.
Top of your head, and then the strange time of transition
And then the strange time of transition
inside of the eyebrow where I get to reevaluate
where I get to reevaluate
outside of the eye what really matters to me.
what really matters to me
Under the eye and what I could do without.
and what I could do without.
Nose and upper lip in these times where things will leave my life.
And these times where things will leave my life
Lower lip and chin, and where people will leave my life.
and when people will leave my life
Collarbone, and certain lifestyles will leave my life.
and certain lifestyles will leave my life.
Under the arm, I'm free to invite into my life.
I'm free to invite into my life
Top of your head, things that I really want from now on.
things that I really want from now on.
Inside of the eye, I'm free to be creative.
I'm free to be creative
Outside of the eye, about how I want my life to look like.
about how I want my life to look like,
Under the eye, what I want.
what I want,
Nose and upper lip, and how I can get it.
and how I can get it.
Lower lip and chin, I'm free to reevaluate.
I'm free to reevaluate
Collarbone, the benefits and the good things in my life
The good things in my life.
under the urn and find a new way.
And find a new way
Top of yet of enjoying them.
of enjoying them.
Take a breath.
As I said before, it's the thought is there, but farther away, and it just something came to mind. Just roll with the blows, or how do they say it? Just go with the flow. Don't be like not to hold on to the steering wheel.
Right.
Just go with the flow. That's what I.
Yeah. See, the reality is there's not a lot of decisions you need to make right now. Okay. Unless they're really like life-changing decisions that need to be done because they're smack in your face and you have to come to some kind of solution. Everything else actually has to wait. It just has to. What are you going to do? Right. And we're not used to that. But things have a way of sorting themselves out if we avoid some major mistakes that we could be making right now. If we avoid them and focus on the things we want,
right.
We actually have more time than we had before, right? It does take more action. And for myself, I've decided that I'm going to just reach out to a whole lot more people than I have in the last few weeks because I was focused on certain things, but they need to hear. And people, I'm getting a lot of feedback that people are struggling with very specific things right now, clutter being one of them. Probably the thumbs seem to be magnifying, like, oh my God, now to do this and can't say it anymore. So reaching out like that is something that's totally in reach, and it's something that's doable and something that needs to be done. Whereas in the past, we could keep ourselves very busy because things were happening all the time. So see how that goes for you.
Okay.
And you're right, you don't belong into the old life anymore because the old life right now is not what it is. What is it at this moment? I hear you. Good for you. Well, thank you for saying that. I'm sure you've helped a lot of people on the call right now. And I just want to acknowledge for one moment, we have a super international call right now. We have Lithuania, we have Greece, Antonios, we have Marie-Therese, you're in Canada, right?
Canada, yeah.
You're in Canada, right? So who else do we have? We have people from all sorts of states right now. Anybody else from a different country? But that's plenty. So this is cool, so we're all in this together is my point. And people all over the country and all over the world have to find ways to cope. And I think if anything, then this situation can also bring us closer together, right? The whole finger pointing or I'm fine and you're not is none of that makes any sense, right? It just doesn't make any sense. And it's fascinating to watch how some folks still try to use the old rules and they're just getting slapped in the face, right? Closing a border, I mean, it's not the border, it's the making sure that you're not in contact with people that have an illness, right? And having a border allows you to do that. But if you just close a border without doing anything else, nothing's gonna change. So people really need to rethink who we are as a human race right now. And I'm grateful for that. It was about time, right? There's a lot of things that don't stop at the border. Environment is one of them. Environmental issues is one of them. It's not that the smog stops like saying, oh, shoot, we're out of Los Angeles right now. We can't go anymore. So, we can see this as a potential for growth and getting together and being together and helping each other out. Who else has something that you would like to tap on this morning? And you can, let me see, probably good ways to raise your hand, or I can just unmute everybody right now. I see Gladys says something. Hold on, I'm going to unmute you, okay? Just hold on a second. So that is this. There she goes.
Am I okay?
And now we can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would like to tap on anger a little bit because I found out last night that my mom, 95 years old, got the corona. and I thought I was keeping her safe, and it got me very angry. I became very angry because now I don't know what to do. It's I mean, she doesn't have symptoms. Then I got angry. I felt anger. I felt working so hard, trying to keep her nice and safe. And 7 weeks she hasn't get out of the house. It's
So
really,
how does she have it? How does she have it? I'm sorry to hear that.
well, it seems that she lives by my sister, and it seems that other people got it and passed it on to her, and she's 95, so that's what it is. So now I'm not able to even go see her. I'm not able to go close to her because I don't know, I'm frustrated. I'm angry. And I thought that maybe I had a certain thing. And the funny thing is, I took her, my sister, and another person to take the test, and I took it myself, and I had nothing, and my sister and her had. So must be somebody came into our house and gave it to her. So, but
Where do you live, Gladys?
we live in Brooklyn.
Okay.
My sister has a large family.
Okay.
But
So just for
I
the
guess
record,
my
you are
sister,
you are very much breaking off right now. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to work with you because I can't really hear you. Okay. But I feel pretty confident that we can work through this anyways. So if I can't hear you, I just trust that you're going to repeat what I say. And you're going to raise your hand if something new comes up so we can just stop. Okay. Just because we're tapping in a certain way doesn't mean that you don't need this to be changed in some way, that it works better for you. Is that okay?
yes,
Okay. All right. Yeah. Sometimes internet just does that. There's not much we can do. Do you have a headset?
yes, I do.
Oh, you have it on.
I
Okay.
have
Good. Okay. Okay.
already.
Okay. So let's tap. Okay. Karate chop point, even though I'm pissed off.
Even though I'm feeling this stuff.
I'm pissed off.
I'm feeling this stuff. I'm still okay.
I didn't say that because you're not okay.
No, I'm not.
Nah, so why say it? Even though I'm not okay.
Even though I'm not okay.
I'm not okay at all.
I'm not okay at all.
This is not fair.
This is not fair.
This is screwed up.
This is screwed up.
I worked so hard to make sure my mom is safe.
I work very hard to make sure my mom is safe.
And we're living in the middle of a goddamn pandemic.
And we're living in the middle of a goddamn pandemic.
And I did whatever I could possibly do.
And I did whatever I could possibly do.
And she's 95 years old, for crying out loud.
She's 95 years old, for crying out loud.
And I thought that keeping her with my sister is the right way to go.
And I thought keeping her with my sister was the right way to go.
But it wasn't.
And it wasn't.
She got the damn virus anyways.
She got the damn virus anyway.
How much worse can it possibly get?
How much worse can you possibly
She's
get?
95 and I can't see her.
She's 95 and I can't see her.
It breaks my heart.
Breaks my heart.
Now what am I going to do?
And what I'm going to do.
What can I do?
What can I do?
I have no idea what I can do.
I have no idea what I can do.
I can pray and tap.
I can pray and tap, for
No, that's
sure.
great. That's great.
That's great.
Sounds a little helpless to me right now.
No, that's great. That's what I have to do, and I will do.
And I will do that even though I don't know if it makes any difference whatsoever.
I will do that even though I know it. I will know that it doesn't make any difference. I still
Maybe it makes a difference.
Maybe it makes
There's a good
difference.
chance it makes a difference.
There's a great chance it makes a difference.
But I have no, swearing is okay. Yeah. Is saying goddamn okay, or should I just say damn? It's okay.
Yes, say God, of course. God.
Well, goddamn is not really saying God. That's why I'm checking in with you first. Yeah, I'm German. For me, these words don't mean what it means to some people. So, all right. There's no
I
goddamn
understand.
guarantee. I got it. There's no goddamn guarantee.
No, there's no goddamn guarantee.
And the truth is, I don't know how to deal with that.
The truth is, I don't know how to deal with that.
This is brand new.
This is brand new,
It's totally fresh.
totally fresh.
The shock just happened.
The shock just happened.
I found out yesterday.
I found out yesterday, last
How am I
night,
supposed- Yeah, last night, a few hours ago.
a few hours ago.
So how am I supposed to feel?
How am I supposed to feel?
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Top of your head, I have absolutely no idea.
I have absolutely no idea.
Inside of the eyebrow, and all these thoughts are bumping around in my head right now.
All these thoughts are bumping around in my head right now.
Did I make a mistake?
Did I make a mistake?
Outside of the eye. Outside of the eye, did I do something wrong?
Did I do something wrong?
Under the eye, who the heck gave this to them?
Who the heck gave this?
Who
to
came
them?
to the house? Who came to the house? Lower lip and chin. Who gave this to a 95-year-old woman?
This 95-year-old woman.
Come on, for God's sakes, people, take some responsibility. I don't know.
I don't think ever anybody did it intentionally.
And even if they didn't do it intentionally, they did it anyways. Under the arm.
Did it in any way.
Yes. And it's not that I that I hold this against somebody. Top of your head. This tap. It's not that I'm holding it against somebody.
I'm holding it again.
Inside of the eyebrow, but the truth is somebody did this. Inside of the eyebrow, and you're breaking up. So I'm just going to continue, and you just pitch in. Outside of the eye, and I'm heartbroken about this.
I'm heartbroken about
Under
this.
the eye, I am heartbroken and helpless right now.
I'm heartbroken and helpless.
Nose and upper lip. This is my worst nightmare.
This is my worst nightmare.
Lower lip and chin, and I'm heartbroken and helpless.
I'm heartbroken and helpless.
Collarbone, and I don't even know if there is any solution right now.
I don't know if there's any solution right now
Under the arm that would be accessible to me.
that will be accessible to me.
Top of your head, I don't know.
I don't know.
Inside of the eyebrow, how do you live with that?
How do I live with that?
Outside of the eye, what do I do?
What do I do?
Under the eye, I was so worried this would happen.
I was so worried this would happen.
Nose and upper lip, and here we go.
Here we go.
Lower lip and chin, and in my mind, I have the worst thoughts coming up.
I have the worst thoughts coming out.
Collarbone. I'm running the memories of all that I heard on TV.
Oh, I'm running the memories of all that I read on the internet too.
Under the arm, all that I read on the internet.
All that I read on the internet.
And the truth is, they only talk about the people who didn't make it.
That's the truth. They only talk about the ones that don't make it.
Inside of the eyebrow, they only talk about the horrible cases.
They only talk about the horrible cases.
Outside of the eye. And there's plenty of them, we know that.
And there's plenty of them. We know
Under
that.
the eye. But the reality is
But the reality is,
that for each person who does not make it through,
each person that does not make it through,
lower lip and chin, there are about 100 who do. Between lower lip and chin, there are about 100 who do.
oofa, 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 where are you? Where are you?
Collarbone. So what if I shift my resources? under the arm. What if I look at what's possible right now? And I'm just going to keep tapping. And when you hear the recording, you can tap along. What if I just focus on what I can do inside of the eyebrow with great kindness and honesty? Outside of the eye. The truth is, I have no idea what's going to happen under the eye. So why pretend that I do? Nose and upper lip. Why believe that this is the worst thing that will ever happen to her? Lower lip and chin, if there's a really good chance that it's just not. Collarbone. The numbers speak to my truth. Under the arm. And I'm going to do whatever I can to support her. Top of your head. And to support my sister through these difficult times. And even though there's nothing I can do right now that would immediately change the situation, I'm grateful for the power that I have. Take a breath. So, okay, I'm going to unmute everybody, or you can unmute yourself, right? Yes, you can. Anybody who wants to say something, there's a mute button in the bottom left of your screen. Just give some feedback right now. Or you can raise your hand and I unmute you, whatever works better for you. I think we should really talk about this for a minute because this is a big deal. Yeah, no. Hold on a sec. Gotcha. Yes, dear. I can't hear you now. Yeah.
That's because you muted me, because I unmuted myself. But anyhow, we're good now, I think. Oh, did you? Okay.
No, it's all good.
All right.
I think we pushed the button the same way, the same time. What's your feedback here?
I just wanted to say that my mother's 93, so until where she came to yesterday, I've been in the same place of, trying to encourage her to stay safe and support her. And I know that same thing could happen in our family. So I feel her pain and anger.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what's important is to just own how we feel. A lot of people, a lot of practitioners have this urge to say, I'm fine. No, we're not. Why would I be fine with this? I'm not fine. I'm angry. I've been fine before, and that's not what that feels like. And just own it. It's okay. The world will not come to an end if you let it out and you say it as it is. I'm just going to mute everybody right now for a second because I think that's just an important thing. You can mute yourself if you don't want to be heard. Okay. I just think this is important sometimes. All right. This is a big deal. And we have this way of trying to fake it through emotionally. And I totally disagree with that. It's so much better to say, hey, listen, this sucks, right? I'm not okay. I am hurting. I'm scared shitless. I am not okay right now. And I'm, in my experience, anger is very often really almost like a cover-up emotion, right? Because anger makes us feel strong. Anger is a projecting emotion. So as long as I'm angry at someone or something, I don't really have to let it in because I can shoot it out, and I have proof, right? I can prove that I'm angry because this thing happened. It shouldn't have happened. And now everybody should, come behind me and we're all angry together. That's why anger can really motivate masses, right? That's why anybody out there who's trying to start a movement in some fashion uses anger on some level, right? Not everybody. I mean, there's the opposite as well. We know that. But a lot of the movements that we're seeing are based on anger. This should not be happening. Everybody after me. This person sucks. Everybody after me, And now it's, who knows, China, right? It's fair enough a way to be angry at, right? I mean, seriously, use anger and everybody comes with you, right? But anger is just a cover-up emotion. And it's okay to have that. But at the end of the day, there are a lot of emotions under the anger, right? And they're vulnerable and they're scary and they're upsetting. And they can be addressed with EFT. And I think that's one of those things that make me very grateful to have this tool, because we can tap on taking the charge out of the worry and just getting our feet back on the ground, right? The reality is most people actually make it through this. They do, right? Also, old people make it through this. A lot of people don't show a lot of symptoms. People do show symptoms, but the majority of people does not. And that's also important to remember if we want to be realistic about the dangerous situation we're in. Okay. Barbara, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm just so aware. I feel lots of emotions coming up that I think I had distractions before. You know, I had places to go and things to do. And even at the beginning of this, you know, there was one Zoom meeting and this poetry, and there was so much to grab for, and everything's kind of settled down now into, oh, this is going to go on for a while. And so I think that for me, the awareness of the emotions that I'm feeling, and so many of those emotions are attached to backstories and that I never faced head on because I had ways of weaseling out of them, and now I don't. I mean, I don't have a 95-year-old mom, and I know I don't have those concerns, etc. There are other things that are just right in my nose now. And what? You can only write so many poems. You can only wash so many counters. And then bottom line,
wash your hands so many times.
You start to feel.
Well, if you don't leave the house, then the sanitizer is of no use, right? I hear you.
I think it's good to actually, I don't like it. I'm not comfortable. I'm not used to feeling all this stuff.
Yeah. But you know, just food for thought. Everybody's different, clearly. Being European, being busy all the time. If you told somebody in France, you know, oh, you're busy all the time, I'm really, really busy, they would look at you and say, I'm so sorry, I hope that eases up a little bit for you. Right? Now, go to America, right? And say, so everybody says, this just food for thought, because I was scratching my head over this so many times, right? You know, you ask people, how are you? And they say two things. And you can, I would be willing to, if I had a pony, to put the pony on the bed here, you know, they will tell you two things. I'm fine and busy. Like who cares, right? Busy doing what? As if being busy is a state of mind, as if being busy is something you must have, you must tell the world. You know, you can tell people you're busy even if you're not, and you get out of whatever, right?
Well,
oh, I'm so sorry, I was too busy. Everybody busy doing what? As long as we have a cell phone, we're not busy. We're not, because in order to make phone calls, all we need is a phone, right? That's true.
I think that
so if we are that busy that we need a cell phone with a gazillion different apps, and we're using it for anything other than work, we are not busy. We're not. And I plead guilty to this. So, I mean, I'm certainly very good about watching all my news channels way more often than I should be. And I understand that. But just food for thought. And what we're doing now is really realizing we're not busy anymore. We are actually feeling people. We had dreams before we started to get busy. We wanted to do all these things. And I think this is another piece to it, is we have a lot of guilty busy. You know, for example, you know, I do a clutter clearing program, right? I'm actually going to relaunch this. So if you guys are interested, look for some, it just helps you organize your space according to how you need it to function. Not feng shui and not the Martha Stewart's, but really bring it back to the function that you feel in every corner of your house you're comfortable, right? And I have a system for that, and there's tapping, and it's also, so it's fun, it's easy, and it's pays for itself, because I also show you how to sell the stuff you don't need, but that's a different story. Just saying that. But people are really looking at their lives right now and realizing that everything is magnifying. And when you tell somebody, for example, you do clutter clearing, everybody will tell you, oh my God, I should do this too. When you tell somebody you lose weight, everybody tells you, oh my God, I should be doing this too. No, you shouldn't. Of course not. Why should you be doing something I'm doing just because I'm doing it? We're so guilt-ridden in this country. It's crazy, right? Everybody thinks they're always behind, and there's more goals and more things to do and more this and that and the news of the other. And that is all kind of falling away right now. And I know I'm going off a tangent here a little bit, but it's so important to see this process also as a cleansing process. What I did for the first time about 4 days ago, huge victory. You know how some people in your life are abusive and you know them for many, many years? Like seriously, verbally, and emotionally abusive. And you know how you can spend your life trying to explain to them, look, I'm not like that. You know, I need you to see me. I'm nice. I'm not like that. I don't mean it this way. Why are you saying I mean it this way when I don't? You know, I don't know how many years I spent doing this. You know what I did? I told this person to fuck off. I said, just for the record, not a word of what you say I take personally. Oh my goodness. It's personal. The person screamed in my face, this is personal. I thought, oh my God, look at this. She really meant it the whole time. She meant to make me feel bad. And she just, for the first time, when I said, I'm not taking this on, made it clear to me that she needs me to take it on. No interest in anything else. And I realized for the first time in my life, there was very much empowering to let this go as clutter. Emotional clutter, time-sucking clutter, spiritual clutter. It was simply a relationship that 100% needed to leave, because it was actually the one thing that was really so confusing me for years that it was difficult to do certain things. Look for those moments. Look for the people that you feel are talking louder in your ear right now about who you should and shouldn't be, and think about if they actually have earned the right to say that. There's a really good chance they've never earned the right to give you any advice whatsoever, to tell you who you need to be and what you need to stop. They're just saying it because you listen. This is a really, really powerful thing to do. And a lot of times people just use you because you're willing to take it on, and they can go all out, and you're a reliable punching bag for them, who will always defend herself or himself, instead of saying, you know what, you having a problem right now. You're having a problem. It's not me, because I haven't changed. You haven't changed. You're abusive, and I don't like it. Right? Just think about it this way a little bit as well. This is an important time for that, because when all this is done and over, you want to be surrounded by people you love, and people that really care, and people that want to help and support you and not blame you for things you haven't even done. Make sense? I don't know. That just needed to come out. Do with it as you may. But this is just the kind of stuff that happens right now. So it can be very empowering, is my point. You know, and it's also, yeah, no, I'm going to end this right here. So for whatever this is worth, I've seen a lot of people go through cleansing processes right now. And a part of a cleansing process is that we'll feel displaced for a while. We're trying to apply the old rules, and the old rules aren't working. And then we don't have any new rules because we tried all our life to make the old ones work. And all of a sudden we realized the old ones actually didn't work so well in some regards either. We were just using them, right? So now it's kind of time to think about, who do you want to be when all this is over? How do you want to come out on the other side? Once you open the door and shake your neighbor's hand with your elbow or whatever it is you do, how do you want to come out on the other side? Who do you want to be? Who did you always want to be? You know, unless if people hadn't stopped you from being that, or told you can't, or you can't now, you need to be busy, or you need to do something else, and just be that, and do this in the privacy of your own home right now, because at home nobody's going to stop you. People don't even know that you're changing. They don't even know that you do what you love to do. They don't have any idea unless you tell them. So don't tell them. Just do it. Does that make sense? So for whatever that's worth, but food for thought. Okay, that's I see phenomenal growth in my family right now, phenomenal, and I'm very grateful for that. You know, and it is because we're all hunkered down at home, and we're just looking at each other in a completely new way, and I like that a lot. So What else comes to mind for you guys? Please just, I think you're all unmuted. Unless you muted yourself. Yes, Azraeli.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to keep it to myself, but I think you you made me to talk.
What happened?
Uh, that's like very interesting that I am stuck in the home
Yeah.
where I'm not abused, and I'm afraid to get out to be abused again.
Oh, Rakshas.
And this virus stuff is ending, and most likely at the beginning of June I'm going home. Yeah, I know. I read about people who are abused because of the virus. I was so lucky to stay. I'm not physically abused. I'm emotionally abused.
Why do you have to go back?
That's my home.
Is that your home or is it the place where you live?
That's my home.
What makes it home?
What makes me home?
What makes it home for you?
The space I created for myself, the effort I put into the buying a house, my friends and my surroundings, my son,
What makes it not your home?
my husband.
Can you kick him out? Can you kick him out?
Not really.
Are you sure? What?
I don't know.
Would you, if it was possible, would you do it? Or would you give it another shot?
Probably not. I'm too
So
nice.
that's the problem. If it was possible, would you let him go? Or would you still hold on to him even if it was possible to let him go? Whatever that looks like. I don't know if that's financial, if that's relation. I don't know what the story is. But if the story wasn't there and it was just you and him, would you say, hey, listen, honey, you're abusive. I'm not taking this on. This is your problem, always has been. And you actually need to go now.
My son
was
wouldn't
possible.
understand. And
Well, it's not about your son right now. This is about you.
yeah, I know. It's about me.
So what other things? Your son would understand. Trust me. Your son has seen this for a while and he does not understand why the hell you're not making whatever the change needs to look. I'm not saying leave your husband. I'm saying, why are you not?
I try to, get my space as much as possible and not to do anything as much as possible. I still.
Was it working?
Yeah, it's much better. Much better.
So what are you afraid
well.
of if it's working?
It's still, there's a stuff you need to communicate about, and I'm not a free person.
You're not a free person? Oh, okay.
I'm married.
Some people, that's a good thing. Hold on a second. My telling me it's either the heat or the menopause. I don't know. Okay. Why would you not be a free? Why does your husband not make you free?
Financially. Allowed the abuse to happen. Financial abuse.
The abuse happening because you're financially dependent on him?
Now, yeah.
It is. So he says, I
when
give you $10 and then
yeah, but when I wasn't, I was like kind of, oh, okay, I'm fine, until it happened. And now I'm not fine.
What happened?
Since I don't have a job anymore, and my, practice wasn't getting off enough, because I was afraid to put myself, let's say, on the internet because he would make fun of me.
Well, let him make fun of you. It's not about him. Don't tell him what you do is my point.
That's I'm trying to, not anymore, but still that he would
you're not
see
putting
me
yourself
on,
out there on the internet just in case. First of all, you live in New York City, right?
Okay. Long Island.
And you are not a millennial, is that correct? You are fully aware of a life before computers.
Yeah.
Do you know that people ran successful businesses before a computer was even invented?
Yes.
Those are your strategies. And those are your people. Don't compete with a millennial online unless you really know what you're doing. Go out on the streets, talk to the people, bring pen and paper. I tell you what, I did this thing. I went back to a ball pen. And the reason I do this is because in Germany, from first grade on, from second grade on, this is the only instrument you're allowed to write with. Okay? There's no ball pens, there's no nothing until you're way into high school and they can't tell you what to do anymore.
But the funny thing is, I'm majored in computer science, so
I don't
I
care.
love computers.
Unless computer science is what you sell. My understanding of you from knowing you for a few years is that you're an emotional coach.
Yes.
So screw that you know the internet.
Okay.
Unless that's your product, this is not your way to communicate.
It is not my way to
And
communicate.
the reason is because
I
there are
am
way too many
personal.
people out there who are already
You're
in
right.
the game, and
You're right.
you need to actually come up with a plan. So I'm hearing two different things, okay? When your business was going well, you had confidence and you felt a lot better in your relationship. Is that correct?
Yeah, he was, like constantly criticizing me for coming back late and everything, but still I had confidence, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I was
Well, he's
making
going to
money
do
and
that. And you need to make sure at some point that you either say, and that's something you need to decide on. Okay. You can say, okay, listen, I have one of two options right now. I can either take your crap. No, and I want you to know that I take your crap because you have a problem and I love you anyways. Or I tell you to stop the crap because your problem is becoming my problem and I don't have time for this. Okay. That's your decision. And that's a decision you need to make. And either one, you need to be open with this. Time is right. But you want to do this from a place of power and not from a place of, I'm trying to get away from all the problems there are. The other problem is that you are not actually doing what you feel called to do. Go out on the streets, go into the places, wear your little mask and work your heart out. And why do you do that? Because you love people. Right? And right
how do
now,
you know?
my dear, right now, because you're internet savvy and you clearly have Zoom, you can do this from Lithuania. You can actually contact every single person you know via Zoom and say, look, I have nothing to sell right now, but I do want to talk to you. You have nothing else to do. You have a client base, you have a list online, you have a steady internet connection. Go ahead and reach out to everybody you know, and by the time you come back, you have a business going.
Most
That's
of my
your job.
clients in Lithuania and they don't pay
I don't
me
care
enough.
about any objection right now. You need to start reaching out to
I hear
everybody
you.
you know. And when you run out of people, there's Facebook. I'm serious. I'm absolutely serious. And you have the freedom to not make a dime. But if you don't make connections, then it's on you. There's nothing I have nothing else to tell you.
Okay.
Okay. So you lay the foundation right now. You know what you used to offer. If you still want to offer whatever it is you're offering at the same price point and it works, good for you. If you realize people aren't buying, make a decision if you want to help them anyways. Okay? Find out where your boundaries are, find out what it is you want to do and start planning. Everything you do, paper and all, needs to be, however you process, right? I just said this because I think it's out of the box for a lot of people, that everything I write now is actually, all my creative work works with an instrument I learned to write on in fourth grade or in first grade, right? But if that's how the brain works, then use it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a certain format. It just has to get done. If you don't want to do that, that's okay too, but own it. And know that there are consequences for that, because yes, you will go home to a husband that's angry and says, what were you doing in Lithuania? You haven't done anything. I thought you were online. Were you sitting around? And then you can wonder if he has a point. Doesn't excuse or justify any of his abuse. None at all. But I want you to be stronger right now. How does it feel?
Already feels better.
Okay, good. So you go ahead and make a plan. Okay, computer science means you have a very structured brain, true? Okay, so you know what it looks like to make a 6-week plan.
Yep.
Okay, and you know what it looks like to pick up a phone and tell people, hey, can we talk? I'm in Lithuania, I'm stuck over here. I don't even know what it's gonna look like when I get back to New York City. But let's just talk and reconnect because we're all in this together. You make 5 calls like that and you already know that your life has changed. Or you don't.
I will.
Okay? And let me know how that goes for you.
Not yet.
Why? Why not?
Do we need to tap on
I will
something there?
get up in a minute and do
You
it.
know, it's almost 1 o'clock.
Where's Mike?
Do we have anything to tap on there?
Uh,
I'm not going to
maybe,
tap you into being comfortable right now.
maybe with the with the fear of making phone calls and offering.
What do you offer? You have nothing to offer.
Okay, making connections. I see.
You connect with people and you're being nice. And you are certainly having a boundary in how much you're willing to offer. You don't let people take advantage of you. You decide that, but you need to start reaching out. So you need to write down exactly what you want to do and reach out to people. And imagine how you would feel if somebody out of the blue contacts you from Lithuania and says, can we talk? You'd probably say no. Which is why you want to start with your clients. Right? And by the time you've gone through all your client list, you have your thing down and you know what you're doing, you know your place in the world, you know what you want to what your future life needs to look like. Okay. All right. Let's do a general let's do a little check-in for a minute and then we do some tapping around this, okay? Let me just hear a little feedback. I'm just going to mute everybody.
Yeah.
Lisa, I saw you joined us, but there's a lot of background noise, and so that's why I'm muting you, okay? So feedback on this. I mean, don't tap right now. That's really, you don't need to tap right now. You're fine. Okay. I'm literally saying that because we need to make a decision as well. Okay. We can't blame it all on the husband.
I know. I can't make it all on
And
husband.
I'm not saying that your husband's behavior is justifiable.
Yeah, it's not really that I'm blaming him. I'm more like not comfortable with myself being too sensitive and too afraid of abuse.
Do you see how this changed right now, the whole conversation? The dear group, can you see that? You know, how getting a clarity on where we need to go is actually sometimes really important. Just really figuring out what it is so that we can move forward. Okay, why don't we, does anybody have some feedback on this? Otherwise, we can certainly do some tapping on picking up the phone, because that's another piece of the relationship building that we talked about. Not knowing where we belong, not knowing if people still like us, not knowing what relationships look like. Is that helpful? Can I see a yes or no? Like that? Anybody would like to do that or not? I really need you guys to help me out, because I don't want to tap on things that are not helpful for you. Okay, say Jean would say yes. Gigi says yes. Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right. All right, cool. Australia, then I'm going to do this with you. I'm going to mute everybody else, and you can unmute yourself, or I think you're unmuted. Are you unmuted there? I think you are. Yeah. Okay, cool. Karate chop point, even though. Australia, this is for you. Here I am.
Here I am. Here
Afraid.
I am.
Here I am.
Afraid.
Hold on. For some reason, this didn't work. Just hold on a second, please. Mute all. Continue. There we go. That's better. Sorry about the tech thing. This is hard for me.
This is
That's
hard
really,
for me.
this is hard for me. I'm afraid to pick up the phone.
I'm afraid to pick up the phone.
It's not me.
It's not me.
Can you hear me? Okay. And I can
With
even
some
feel in my
delay,
body. Yeah, there's a
I
delay.
can
I don't know
even
why.
feel in my body
How nervous I get around making phone calls.
how nervous I get around making phone calls.
And the real possibility that a lot of people will not want to talk to me.
And the real possibility that a lot of people don't want to talk to me.
Some might even get annoyed.
Some might even get annoyed.
Some might not return my phone calls.
Some might not return my phone calls.
There will be times when I wish I hadn't called.
And
There will be times
will
when
be
I wish I
times
hadn't
I
called.
wish I wouldn't called. I wish I hadn't called. Yes.
I can choose
I can choose
to focus on the people
to focus on the people
who are so grateful that I did.
who was so grateful that I did.
And even though not everybody needs to hear from me right now,
And even though not everybody needs to hear from me right now,
and most people don't expect any call at all,
and most people don't expect any call at all.
most people don't even know that it's possible to talk to me.
Most people don't even know that it's possible to talk to me,
Or that they would benefit from talking to me.
but they would benefit from talking to me.
But it's okay to reach out anyways.
But it's okay to reach anyways.
And even though I have this problem right now,
And even though I have this problem right now,
and I possibly had this all my life,
and I possibly had this all my life, yes.
this fear of what people think of me,
This fear what people think of me.
that's so intense that I don't even want to go and see my husband right now.
It's so intense that I don't even want to go and see my husband right now.
Just in case he thinks poorly of me.
Just in case he
Thinks poorly of me.
poorly of me. Yeah.
And I have to deal with that.
And I have to deal with that.
Look at that old fear.
Look at that old fear.
That fear of what people think of me.
Fear what people think of me.
And my desire to prove them wrong.
And my desire to prove them wrong.
In how they perceive me.
How they perceive me.
Top of here. So here it is.
Here it is.
Instead of with that old fear of what people think of me.
All fear what people will think of me.
And that they have a right to tell me.
And that they have a right to tell me.
And even be verbally abusive.
And even be verbally abusive.
And I only have a right to defend myself.
And only I have a right to defend myself.
Temporarily.
Temporarily.
What if I had the right?
What if I have the right?
Under the arm. To tell them to fuck off.
To tell them to fuck off.
You don't like me, I don't like you either.
You don't like me, I don't like you either.
Stay out of my life.
Stay out of my life.
This is how you think of me, then why are you talking to me?
This is how you think of me. Why are you talking to me?
I'm working hard here.
I'm working hard here.
I'm trying to make a difference.
I'm trying to make a difference.
I'm trying to do something right.
I am trying to do something right.
And you can't stop me.
And you can't stop me.
I can only stop myself
I only can stop myself.
with this old fear of what people think of me.
This old fear, what people think of me.
Take a breath.
That's nice. It in me. Yeah. That nothing can stop me. That's me. Who can stop me? No one has a right to stop me.
People can stop you. You might have to try again. You know, your phone company can stop you. If they pull the plug, they stopped you. What are you going to do now? Leave the house, talk to
Go on
people.
the street
I know
and
we're
talk to people.
hunkered down, but you get the point. People can stop you. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Of course they can. Look, we need to stop saying things that aren't true. Of course they can stop you. You know, if you're trying to make a phone call and your husband stands next to you and screams in your ear, he's stopping you. Of course he can. Don't tell yourself he can't. Of course he can. So the question is now, what are you going to do?
Yeah, but the thing
Right?
is,
We're
that-
living in this.
yes.
Yeah.
But
So what are
I
you going to do?
sometimes stop me when no one stops me. I stop myself in my head.
Well, but the
thinking what they
person
would do if I
in your
go.
head is not you. It's somebody else is talking in your head. You just already know what they're going to say,
Okay. I see.
right? It's called the programming. You should know better, my dear. You and EFTR. The writing on the wall.
I know.
Okay,
Right?
so we understand that, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So getting rid of the writing on the wall might just be a really good idea.
Mhm.
Okay.
Working on it.
You know, and if you knew that every time you pick up the phone or every time you talk to somebody, you're saving that person's life because they were just about to kill themselves, and no, they're not, would you still not call them? Because you're so afraid what they're going to think of you? Think about this and let me know.
I just started to think about all the people who wanted to kill themselves and they didn't because of me. It's like,
And you can't think about the people who will because they're not going. And that's the life we live in the coaching world. If you just think, okay, if you have in the back of your mind that you want to start creating a consistent income while you help other people, and that's a part of your life, that is totally appropriate. There's nothing wrong with that. But you got to live your life in authenticity, and that doesn't mean you're not charging people. It means you're not letting people down, right? And you got to find the balance between one and the other that works for everybody. Okay. I would be shocked if not every single person on this call today hasn't saved at least one person's life. There's at least one person living today that would not be alive if it hadn't been for you. And here we sit and think, oh my God, I wonder what they think of me if I want to save their lives. Right? And even if they're not at a place where that's the situation, maybe their life would just be one hell of a lot better if they just knew you thought of them. And just because they're on your list and you called because you had nothing else to do because you were stuck in Lithuania of all places, or in Greece, or in who knows, Canada, Germany, or what do I know. I'm reaching out to everybody I know right now. We're all in this together. I don't know where you're at. Where are you at? Talk to me. I have 15 minutes. See what happens. It's a life changer. And one tip that I always give my students is, if you don't know what people are thinking, then ask them. Okay? So if you're really nervous about what people think of you, then ask them what they think of you. let them tell you in the face. What do you think of me? I just wanted to check in with you. Do you hate me now? Do you think I'm stupid? Do you think I'm dumb? Do you think I have no right to call you and care about you? Show me one person who says, oh my God, you're awful. Seriously. It's okay to cry. This is old stuff, I know. We all have it. Okay. So you go out there and save some lives and let us know how you went. Don't wait. Don't go and don't collect $400. Buying right now. Just pick up the phone or to connect in any other way. And don't make this complicated. Don't worry about who needs you the most or the least or the whatever. It doesn't matter. It matters not. Just get back in the flow of living your purpose. And you'll see what happens. Okay. Can anybody else resonate with this? See it down there. I know you can. You've saved more lives than most of us. So, all right. So, do we have time for one more thing? One more? Yeah, we do actually. And I would like to, I see a whole lot of people actually commenting on things. I'm going to make an offer to you. If you do want to talk to me on the phone, how am I going to do this? Shoot me a quick email. Shoot me a quick email, and we can just talk on the phone. Okay. Some of this stuff is private, and we should probably be talking on the phone. So you shoot me an email. I give you the phone number. We find a time we talk. Okay. Another good opportunity for you. And right now we need good opportunities, and we need to see where we go with them. Okay. All right. Cool. Australia, thank you for your openness, and thank you for allowing me to coach you and not just put a Band-Aid over this. Because we went from one big fear to a very different thing. Okay. And yes, you are called to do what you want to do. Otherwise you wouldn't be working so hard on avoiding it. You would just stop doing it. Right? Like there's so many things we stop doing because we lose interest. You never lost interest. You can't. I get that.
I can't.
Right? Most people, when you're called to do something, you just can't help it. So you might as well just do it.
No, you can't help it. That's true.
True?
Yes. Yes.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Okay, cool. Who else would like to? We have time for one more thing. And you see how, again, the topics are changing. You know, obviously, I mean, it's not that everybody is dealing with exactly the same things, you know, from what we had from Gladys. That's, of course, a very different and very difficult and upsetting situation that not all of us are sharing in that intensity. But still, most of the things somebody struggles with, the others are struggling with as well. So do you want me to unmute you? Can I just see a sign of hands? Or do you want to raise your hand and say, I have something I would like to tap on? I'm just going to mute you guys. There you go. Everybody's unmuted. I think you're unmuted, unless you muted yourself. Some people did. Yeah, and feedback.
Okay, I have a question.
Jean, yes.
Me?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're running a business and you call somebody but you're not trying to sell them something, well, what are you calling them for?
Well, you need to decide that. Hold on, I'm just going to mute everybody. And I'm going to unmute you. There we go. Okay, that's better. Well, you tell me.
Yeah, well, I don't know. That's why I raised my hand.
Well, in all seriousness, that's a good question. Why would you call somebody? Why would you not?
But I mean, yeah, would I just call and say, hello, I'm thinking about you?
I would love those. I get those calls a lot. I get cards at home. Somebody just brought me a candle. Well, I made a big pot of stew for them, so I gotta you know, yeah, you think that's nice to do? So there's just to understand, are you asking, are you saying that you don't have a business or you don't want to do this for business? Is this a business question or is this just a personal reaching out question?
Well, I can call people that I know and say hi, but I mean a stranger. I do angel card readings and tarot and astrology. But if I call somebody and say, hi, you want an angel reading?
The answer would be no, absolutely not. They don't know you.
Yeah, so what do you say?
Well, why are you calling them? Do you call them because you want to give them an angel reading?
No, but you were talking to her
Yeah, so why
about
would you?
a business and calling people.
Well, Aurelia and I know each other for years, so I know what she does. Right.
Okay.
And so that's part of the coaching I gave her is right down her alley because she's an EFTer. She's very good at what she does. And she needed to, her way of reaching out is she has a client base, right? Which means there are people who trusted her with their lives. And they better hear from her right now because she's stuck in freaking Lithuania and they haven't heard a word, right? It's like, nobody is outside right now. That's all how people communicate. My question for you, Jean, would be, what do you want? I mean, if you want to talk to them to only because you want to give them an angel card reading, then that's one thing, right? Then you do I'm offering this, you figure out how you want to do it, you make up your mind, how do you want to do it, and then you contact people and let them know that you're willing to do that, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And find your avenues, find your way. I mean, this is straightforward, just marketing yourself and your business. If you're reaching out right now because you care and because you wonder how people are, right? And you say, hey, how are you? Right? I mean, we're all hunkered down right now. What are you doing? Call a colleague. You can't sell a colleague, right? So call a colleague and say, hey, what do you do? How are you? Are you struggling with the same things I'm struggling with? And just gain momentum. Just gaining momentum and reaching out and letting people know you're here. And if there is a Zoom call from somebody who does a Zoom call, just jump on it, just like you did here.
I'm doing that, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then you just figure it out from there. For me, it's very difficult not to pick up the phone because I have wonderful friends and I really care about them. I care about a whole bunch of people. I live in a small town and I'm just worried about them. I usually see them once a week, at least the people in my church I see once a week. I need to know how the hell they are, how their kids, they're all home and la la la, and we all live in the country and miles away from a store. And do you need something? I just want to know because in case they do, I might have something to share, and vice versa. It goes both ways.
Okay, I understand.
That's the thing, and if out of the situation comes, out of that conversation comes something where you have that hunch, and as an angel card reader and an intuitive, you know when you have a hunch, right? When
True.
Spirit speaks through you. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then you just tell them, look, I really feel, here's what I'm getting. I'm getting that you would, that I should make an offer right now to do card reading for you. How do you feel about that? And you ask them how they feel about it. They may say, you know what, Jean, I'm really not in the mood for that.
Oh, yeah.
Or they say, well, what? And you decide if this is a business thing, is it a personal thing, those are your decisions. I'm not here to tell you how to do that.
Okay.
Right? But you have the power to make those decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And then you do that. And then you follow your angel's guidance and you ask them, who else needs to hear from me today? And you ask that all of that shall be for the highest good of yourself and everybody else involved, so that all of you come out on the other side in a much better place than you went in.
Thank you.
You're welcome. This is the life we live in. Yes, Barb. And do you want to mute yourself? Let me see if yeah, Barb.
I just want to say to Jean, when things have changed, it's really interesting to watch how it's changed from the beginning of March to now. When it first started, of course, when we talked about going out and doing things and reaching people, I know that connection is really important to me, and I live alone. And so I'm also aware that if I don't do the connecting, it doesn't come in very often. People have families, I don't have that. So if I want it, I got to go get it. So I did that in the beginning. And then I was getting things from other people, just a call from this friend, and that felt delicious. It was like, oh my God, let me just do this forever. But now things have calmed down. And now I'm to the point where, again, I have to do the reaching out, and it's not coming in as much. And I tell you, when one does come in, it means the world to me. And I feel so let down when it doesn't come. And so then I have to dig myself out of that victim role again. But I do get tired of being the one that's always reaching, the one who's always, how are you? And it gives me satisfaction. I mean, obviously I'm doing it for myself too. Very aware, but I'm watching the difference now between, now it's almost like going back to the old life I had where nobody called. And I had that taste of what it was like to connect every day with somebody. And so I go on a lot of Zooms, and that's one of the reasons I'm here, is to connect with people and to hear their stories and mull then about my story versus their story. And I learn from it. But Jean, don't think a phone call isn't important to a friend, because there are those of us who are out here who just are starving for some connection to come in.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I think we are really in a time where we need to create new relationships and new communities. You know, whereas in the beginning, everybody was kind of out there for themselves, making sure they have the toilet paper and the canned food, which is still in the basement because we never ran out of food. For some people at least. So yeah, it's now about creating relationships, finding your new belongings, finding places. I've been talking more than tapping today, which surprises me. You know, in the beginning we were all tapping, and right now it seems like we need to sort things out sometimes. Just kind of, okay, we need to make up our minds a little bit more. You know, we need to figure this out a little bit more. We need to process a little bit more, and also make decisions against, not just for, right? Against relationships, you know, clarifying boundaries, being clear on if we really want the same old, or if we really want something else, or how that can intersect. Nobody can do that for us. And that's a part of the process right now. So, yeah. And it's nice to, you know, for those of you who have businesses that are transformational in nature, it's a wonderful thing to find out how you can do this with the utmost integrity, right? A lot of people feel like they're out of integrity when they reach out just because they have a business. You know, of course you charge for your sessions. If somebody takes your time and your expertise that you worked years and years to get and invested thousands of dollars to get, and they want help and they want to move forward, of course they pay for that. Of course they will, right? Just the same way you pay a farmer. Right? I know they have 500 acres full of food, but that doesn't mean they need to give it to you for free. And people know that, and that's okay. Right? And at the same time, there's a really good chance that the farmer supports the local food kitchen. Right? And finds a way to say, look, a part of what I do is free because there are people who can't pay and they need more, and they need food, and I'm happy to share what I can give away. And what I cannot give away, I still make accessible, and I make sure that people know about it, right? The free thing, or this, and that's in integrity. This is not out of integrity to do both. You know, out of integrity is kind of actually to expect other people to know what we need, because how would they? Right? Kind of saying, oh, I thought you would understand. No, if we don't tell them, they don't. So you make up your mind. You decide for yourself what it is you want, and you and how you can be in integrity with that. And reaching out to people is always in integrity. You always give them something they didn't know before. And you don't tell anybody to work with you or do something with you unless you really, really believe that it's the right thing for them at the time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But not reaching out to them just because they don't want to pay you at that moment or because they don't want an angel card reading. I don't know how that would be more in integrity.
It wouldn't be. Unless you just gave it to them.
I tell you a story. A person unsubscribed from my list just a minute ago. Like, yes, no, actually, the first time she unsubscribed yesterday. And I send out these emails, you know what they say. And you know the group right now. Some of you have been here on every single call, right? And she said, I'm getting too many emails. I have 8,000 unread emails. And I thought I might as well just reach out and say, that's fine. I mean, if I don't want people on my list, I don't want to be on my list. But if you have 8,000 unread emails, would you like to have a conversation, just find out what's really going on? Because this is clearly not about my email. And then I got an email back saying, just to let you know, I'm not willing to do any calls that are connected to an offer, right? And so I said, that's perfectly fine. I want you to know there's an hour-and-a-half teleclass where there are no offers. And this is free for you. You're welcome to come and you're welcome to receive whatever it is you need. And I got an email back saying, I'm on a schedule. I'm working. I don't have time. And I said, and I just want to take this as a coach. Sometimes you take this on. Very often you don't, but sometimes you actually do. And this person really, I felt it was right. And I said, look, I just want you to know there's a free resource and a recording. You're welcome to email me what's going on. You can listen to the recording later. You will get some benefits. This is how people sell themselves into their story. And we need to make sure that we don't sell ourselves into our own story. None of us are isolated. As long as there are people alive, we're not isolated. We just need to figure out a new way to connect with them. Right? And that's true. There's a gazillion ways of doing that. And we now in this time where we're at, we really need to figure out how we can get out of our own belief system about who we are in this world and create the world that we really want. And everybody has the right to say, either I don't like you, or I don't want to work with you, or I don't want to spend any time or money on any of what it is that you're doing. Or I don't want to, just stay away from me because of other things. We've all been there, and that's perfectly fine. I think most of us say no to 80 to 90% of the things that come our way, right? See it like a supermarket. You don't go to the aisle and just pull down everything there is, right? And that includes the sale offers, right? But that doesn't mean it's not of value. You are of value. Go create, do something fun. Let us know.
Okay.
Yeah. Makes sense. Is there anything? Yeah, I hope this was helpful today. It was a lot more coaching than just straightforward tapping, even though we did some tapping. And I hope that was helpful as well. It's really about looking into your opportunities right now. Where are the open doors? Where are the places that we can go to? Where are the calls we can make? Where are the changes that are actually available to us? And start looking in that direction. So as we move out of this crisis and out of the isolation, we already know where we want to go. Okay?
This
All
is
right.
very
Well,
helpful.
I'm glad it is, because you need it out there. Angel card readers, we should have more of them. We know plenty, and they can never be enough. So, karate chop-on, even though life is not what it used to be right now,
life is not what it used to be now.
and I don't know what next month will look like. I choose to be profoundly grateful for my life. And even though I don't know yet whose life I will change by reaching out unexpectedly, I choose to just follow my hunches.
I choose to follow my hunches.
If it feels right to connect,
If it feels right to connect,
I'm just going to connect.
I'm just going to connect.
Hey, I just thought of you.
Hey, I just thought of you.
You popped up in my mind.
You popped up in my mind,
What's your number?
and I got your number.
So I just wanted to reach out and see how you are.
So I just wanted to reach out and see how you are.
That's fun to do.
That's fun to do.
And I don't need anything back
I don't need anything back
other than the things that will come back naturally.
because I know things will come back naturally.
Okay, top of your head. So here I am,
So here I am
inside of the eyebrow, in the middle of letting go,
in the middle of letting go.
outside of the eye, not belonging anywhere yet.
I'm not belonging anywhere yet.
I feel lost at times.
I feel lost sometimes.
Part of my old life is frightening me.
Part of my old life is what?
Frightening me.
Oh, frightening me, yeah.
And I don't want to have to go back there.
I don't want to have to go back there.
I don't want all of what I had before.
I don't want all that I had before.
Some of the things I had before I really don't want back.
Some of the things I had before I don't really want back.
I want better.
Oh yeah, I want better.
I want more.
I want more.
I want the things that I always dreamed I could have.
I want things that what?
I always dreamt of that I could have.
Oh yeah, that I always dreamt of I could have.
And I don't want to do the crap I used to do anymore.
I don't want to do the crap I used to do anymore.
I want to just shake that off
I just want to shake it off
and start on a new path
and start on a new path.
with a new direction
New direction.
in a way that works for me.
Whatever works for me.
And I choose to realize
And I choose to realize
that many of the people who were disrespectful to me
that many of the people who were disrespectful to me,
simply never got me.
it wasn't about me.
They never got me.
They never got me.
They never understood who I am.
They never understood who I am.
They just don't understand me.
They just don't understand me.
Because the truth is they are different from me.
The truth is they are different from me.
How do you explain a meadow to a fish?
How do you explain a metal to a fish?
Yeah. How do you explain a horse to a monkey?
How do you explain a horse to a monkey?
They're different animals.
It's a different animal.
And they all have their benefits.
And they all have their benefits.
Try to get a horse up a tree.
How to get a horse up a tree?
Try to ride a monkey.
How to ride a monkey?
Neither one works.
Neither one works.
We're just different.
We're just different.
We don't have to compare and judge
We don't have to compare and judge
and try to see who comes out on top.
and try to see who comes out on top.
The answer is it always depends.
It always depends.
When I'm needed, I better be there.
When I'm needed, I better be there.
And when I'm not needed, I shouldn't show up.
When I'm not needed, I shouldn't show up.
It should step aside so the person who's needed can step in.
So I step aside so the person who's needed will be there.
It's called teamwork.
That's coaching work.
We're all working together in this as a team.
We're all working together as a team on this.
Yeah. Having each other's back,
Having each other's back,
supporting each other as much as we can,
supporting each other as much as we can,
stepping up when we need to,
taking a nap when we need to,
stepping aside when somebody else needs to be there.
stepping aside when someone else needs to be there.
We all have our place in this world.
We all have our place in this world.
And some people are horses and others are monkeys.
Some people are horses and others are monkeys.
And that's just the beginning of it.
Yeah, that's just the beginning of it.
And it's all good.
And it's all good.
It's all good.
It's all good.
It's just fine.
It's just fine.
I am who I am.
I am who I am.
And I'm going to step up when I need to.
And I'm going to step up when I need to.
I'm going to step aside when I don't.
I'm going to step aside when I don't.
Take a breath.
That was good.
Sometimes it's good to just sort it out a little.
Oh, yeah.
So for all of you who are afraid to be judged, you're probably a horse surrounded by monkeys, or you're monkey surrounded by horses. I don't know. But it's fine. You know, they're all eating, they're all, doing their stuff, and they all have a place. Rain, if you need an accountant, don't talk to a healer. Don't, right? If you need a swim instructor, don't talk to a marathon runner. You know, it's just, we need to stop thinking that we need to be accepted and understood by the world. No, we don't. Absolutely not. The better we get, the less people will know what we're doing. Right? Makes you an expert, a specialist, unique in this world with a place to carve out. And if you don't claim it, nobody else will. Make
True.
sense?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you're just leaving a hole. Okay. And maybe a good way to start into this now is to just make a very honest list that you don't have to share with anybody else about, and write down the names of people where you believe that you saved their lives. It can be physically or in another way. Start with the physical. Just make a list of people where you believe that you showed up in their life at a time where if you hadn't done that, things would have gone sour very fast. Okay? And just look at that. And you can also make a list of people who did that for you. And see how grateful you are that they did. And then you go ahead and find your place in that. And all of a sudden the question, where do I belong, is going to be a lot less confusing. Okay?
Sounds good.
I love you all. Thank you for showing up again. This was a good call. And I appreciate you all. Please do spread the word, let people know. And if you do want to talk to me about some of this stuff, shoot me an email and we get on the phone. Okay? Happy to do that. All right. So I'll see you next week. Oh, hold on. I should probably unmute you all because that is not, let me see if I can. Yes, most people are unmuted. Yep. Hold on.
Okay, see you next
There we go.
week.
Okay.
Thank you
so
so much.
just saying bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
We love you, Ingrid.
Love you too. Love you too. And respect you even more. You're awesome.
I can send you both an apart number.
Bye-bye.